One of the most eagerly awaited races of the whole regatta, the final of the men's lightweight fours, and the appearance of the all-conquering Danish crew who are in lane 4. That's 3 from the bottom of your picture. Canada on the far side in lane 1, then France, then Italy, Denmark, and then Australia, 2 from the bottom of your picture, and closest to you, Austria. And conditions certainly no easier for any of these crews. Away at the first time of asking. And who's going to go for the early lead? Denmark certainly starting very quickly. And here they are with all sorts of water flying around.
Yeah, very, very difficult for everybody. But these guys, what they're fantastic at is they just adjust themselves to whatever the conditions. You know, when it's a lovely, smooth water or tailwind, they just smooth along there and they make their boat travel between the strokes. When it's really rough conditions like this, they just put their heads down and they go. But because they've been together so long, they know exactly what each of the other guys are thinking. What is remarkable about them as well is that they keep their motivation year after year. Only Redgrave and Pinsent are able to do that. Here they are now, reigning world and Olympic champions, unbeaten now for 4 years, and out here in front again, leading this fantastically good field.
Yes, and they've really decided to try and stamp their authority on this race right from the beginning. Victor Feddersen on the left there in the stroke seat, then Eskil Ebersen moving down the boat. Thomas Poulsen and Thomas Ebert is the man in the bow seat with the white hat. And really, what a great start.
But look at Feddersen, look at that. He's not playing at being a pretty rower. He's just getting his legs on and he's staying buried and he's really pushing that boat along. Look, it's not pretty stuff, but my God, he's going for it.
Yes, trying to hunt him up there in lane number 5. That's the Australians. That's Simon Burgess and Darren Balfourth, and then Anthony Edwards, and in the bow seat, Robert Richards for Australia. And they're their closest pursuers. They fly through the first 500 metres there, and it's Denmark by almost half a length there over Australia. And then in third place, France, ahead of Italy and Austria and Canada.
Yeah, Austria there, they beat the Danes in Vienna in a heat, which is about the only time I've ever seen the Danes getting beaten. But they're certainly out of the race at the moment. And Australia looking very smooth and relaxed again. The Australian crews have been really rating a bit lower than everybody else. Here they are moving along quite comfortably there at around 36.5. But my goodness, Denmark is going for it.
The other thing that's impressive about these Danes, even though, as you say, Dan, each year they've been increasing their training and really focusing, and they're moving up towards the Olympics, but they all have jobs.
Yeah, they've all got jobs. Most other crews out here are pretty well professional rowers. They're all on a good stipend. They're working to a very tough program, but the Danes all have jobs and they do their training around their jobs.
Now, what about the Austrians here? They were 5th last year, same quartet. But they haven't been that impressive this year in the build-up to these championships.
Yeah, you can see they're not really quite as well together as the Australians, certainly. You know, it's Wolfgang Siegel is a very experienced guy, and he's done some very, very fast rowing. But here he's having a little bit of struggle keeping in touch.
Yeah, the Austrians, particularly Wolfgang, 3 times world champion in the lightweight quadruple sculls in the early 90s.
France are out there on lane 2. It's not a nice lane to be out there, and they're doing damn well to be up there in contention there, sitting in 4th place at the moment.
Still Denmark, though, coming past the enclosures, half distance here, and they've opened up the advantage over the Australians. It was half a length. It's almost, well, it is 3/4 of a length at the moment. And Austria in good contention at the moment, at this particular point. They're just about in 3rd place, ahead of France, with Italy and Canada at the back of the field, as you can see from the stats on the left there.
Yeah, Italy usually up there with the leaders, but having a bit of a struggle there in lane 3.
Yes, Italy, who won the title in 1995, impertinently interrupting the Danish sequence. Denmark won the world title in 94, then regained it in the Olympics in 96, and since then they've hung on to it absolutely convincingly.
Home crew here, Canada, out there on lane 1, the worst lane really, and they're really having to fight pretty hard. Rating not really competitive. They're sitting there at about 35, 36, and we're working hard, but they're not really up with this kind of class. These guys, though, they've been there, they know exactly what to do, and they are just thumping it along, just moving it along, making sure that the blades are well buried, that they're clear and over the tops of the waves, and they don't get into any trouble. This is class.
Yes, I know sometimes, Dan, we talk about the fact that for example, Pinson and Redgrave in the pair in the early part of the 90s, and now their involvement in bringing the four to be successful. But if you were talking about a crew of the decade, these boys have got to be in with arguably a better set of achievements.
Absolutely. Their world record time actually is 5:45.60, and that is faster than the heavyweight time. So these guys have always been only really half, three-quarters of a length behind the Redgrave 4. The heavyweight World Championship 4. And here they are again, out in front, into a headwind, alongside their fellow lightweights, about three-quarters, about a length up on Australia.
Last 500 metres to go, just a moment before we get to the business end of the race, to just remind you of other qualifiers for the Olympics. Spain, who won the B final ahead of Sweden, Japan and Mexico, who also earned a place for next year.
And here comes Italy. Italy now moving up onto the tail of the Australians. Italy moving very, very well now in the middle of the race. And over, just beyond them, France.
These are the Austrians, but they don't look as if they've got much more to give here. And they're going to really struggle, I think, now to hold on to a medal. The Italians sticking with the Australians. The French are just out of picture at the moment.
There's Carlo Gaddi stroking the Italian 4. Very, very experienced man. He's got a lot of medals in his pocket. Is he here now to pull another medal? He's got to get back onto Australia. He's got to hold off the French. The French beginning to move very fast. French are phenomenally fast finishers. They've done it in the past. Austria now well out of it, about three-quarters of a length adrift. But it's Denmark who are going to take this medal here, this gold medal. Yet again, it's Denmark out in front, nearly a length clear of Australia. Australia trying to hold off Italy and France.
French are really flying now down there on the far side in lane 2, and Xavier Dorfman, Yves Hochte and Jean-David Bernard and Laurent Pochier are really throwing it down, and they're getting there, you know. They're out of the picture, but there they are. You can just see them, and they're going after the Australians now. Australians trying to hold on to the silver medal. The Australians are closest to you. The French are on the far side. The Danes have got the gold. That is impossible to call. The gold is clear. Bottom, Australia. Top of the picture is France. Wow, Australians.
Yeah.
And France get the bronze medal, and Italy run out of it at the end into 4th place.
Great, great finish, and always, always great racing in lightweight 4s. But they look pretty when they're standing there with a gold medal around their necks.
5 major championships in the 90s. 4 World Championships, 1 Olympics. Says it all, really, doesn't it?
Well, they'll go into the Sydney Olympic Games there as favourites. They've got to be, and how fired up they will be for that race.
Eberson.
Great competitors, great crew.
Victor Federsen.